Good evening and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today we have on the WAR HIPPIES, Donnie and Scooter. How are you, gentlemen?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good.
Glad you guys can make it. As I was saying earlier, I don't always listen to a lot of country lately, but this album came across, and what I'm a big fan of, that I was saying earlier, is songwriting, good songwriting, which I think eclipses everything. A good song is a good song, no matter what it is. And this album has some great songs on it. And once I heard it, I wanted to have you guys on to expose you. Don't want people to check out your album because it's fantastic. Lyrically, sonically, the production's great. The lyrics, the sounds, the songs together, the composition of you guys together. But if I want to start back a little bit, you guys are both actually also military, so it's even a nod to the military, which is pretty awesome too. Can you guys kind of tell me how this whole thing happened? Because you guys are two separate artists with two different backgrounds, but then you guys created this really great project. When you guys want to jump in and kind of give a little bit lead in?
Go ahead, Scott. I'll let you take that.
Yeah. So about a year ago, Donnie and I met probably about a year and a half ago. Actually on Instagram. Donnie, we'd met at a video shoot briefly, and then he reached out to me and we started hanging. And about a year ago, we were doing a deal at Third and Lindsley that I was invited to for a benefit with a bunch of other artists. And I asked Donnie, I was like, hey, you want to come play this thing with me? And Donnie had actually never really even heard me play live. I never heard Donnie play a note on the violin before. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I think we were both in our back of our minds hoping, like, I hope this doesn't suck, you know? And and so we get to the show, and it's about our time to go up. And Donnie came up to me and goes, so what are we playing? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. And he's like,
wow.
Is there a key or anything that you like to play in? And I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna wing it. And he's like, all right, I like your style. So we ended up playing 4 songs, never rehearsed them, never anything, and we ended up getting a 2-minute standing ovation at the end of the set.
Holy
And
moly.
it was the only like standing ovation of the entire night out of like 20 different artists. And so we got backstage, and both of our wives came back and were like, what the heck was that? And so anyway, Donnie's got his studio and has been producing and been on that side of music for the last 5 years. And, obviously he toured with so many different people as well. But I came to him and I was just like, man, I know that you're like knee deep into your producing stuff, but I got this idea with the two of us, both of us standing center stage 50-50, like a duo called WAR HIPPIES. You down? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's wing it. See what happens.
Oh, that is awesome. The fact that you see telling the story about you guys not being prepared to go on stage, it's like anxiety for about those people. I'm like, oh, it's like going to school in your underwear or something. It's like, oh, what did you guys do for songs? Did you guys jam out? What songs did you do?
I don't remember what we did, but I know we closed with a cover of Wicked Game, Chris Isaacs.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have that on your album. You do a really good cover of that too.
Thank you.
That's really good cover. I love the use of your violin playing in and throughout the album because it adds such an emotional, very emotive instrument to begin with. So it puts that extra like an orchestra feeling to all the songs, which just brings it just a little bit more forward, which definitely raises the bar, I think, in the songs.
Well, I'll tell you what, for me, I think because of the way that Donnie plays the violin, that, country music, you hear a lot of like fiddle. And for people that don't know, it's the same instrument. What do you say, Donnie? The difference between the violin and the fiddle is hee-haw and Carnegie Hall.
My mom used to say Carnegie Hall and hee-haw.
Yeah. And but
that's the difference.
You don't hear very much of the classical orchestral violin in country music, and Donnie has so much of that flavor that it's one of the things that just brings a uniqueness to the music that we're creating. I mean, there's nights where I'm staying on stage. Like it's one thing, like a good fiddle is amazing, but
Oh
when
yeah,
you hear just like a run on a violin, like it touches your soul, you know.
it's the best, and you don't overplay it. You have it in just the right spots too, which is also, you know, if you overplay something, you overdo. You've like in music, like we say, somebody oversings a note and they hold it forever,
Sure.
like in every verse, makes me crazy. Just because you can do it doesn't mean just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, sure.
There's
True.
a musical restraint that makes it almost a better song at some point if you flex the right times. And
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, you're right. That comes from just years of composing, and actually, when you start out, you vomit all over everything. That's what we say. You just play. You're trying to
right,
get paid by the note when you first start. And but just years and years of listening to, and like you brought on, you were talking about the songwriting aspect, and I don't really think as a player you can get to a point or arrive at a point as a player or a composer where you can do and play the right things at the right time, unless you truly are playing for the song and listening to the song. So I think really what has made that has given me that ability has really just been becoming a good songwriter and working with songwriters and working in composition and production, and you realize that you can actually take away from the perfect nature of a song by overplaying, and it's important that you don't do that, that you complement the song.
mm-hmm. It's always a space in between that makes a huge difference in the song. And being in the studio, I mean, it's like being at school for songwriting or recording an album. On either end, each time you do it, the more you do it, you're schooling yourself. On what you like and what you don't like. So the fact is, two of you guys could come in and combine your skills so effortlessly. I mean, who knows in the studio? Just creative work. You know what I'm saying? But the product you came out with is a
Yes.
short period of time. You guys weren't like 5 years of band and wrestling it out. I mean, in a very short period of time, you guys had some chemistry and put an album together.
Yeah.
A solid album, not a filler. Each song is a standout single if you wanted to, type of deal.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. That's a testament to each of your separate songwriting skills. But then also getting together, was it a challenge to write together, or was it as easy as everything else seems to be?
We honestly we wrote Hangman in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's good.
Those, yeah,
Yes.
those are our first attempt, like first time to write together, and I brought him this idea of the Hangman, and I was like, let's no, let's go to the studio and write it. And I mean, literally, we sat down, and it was one of those days where Donnie was on fire, and everything was just rolling off, and like we got it done, and then we put it together, and we're like, dude, we gotta cut this, like we gotta play this.
Yeah, we did.
But that's how everything that we've done with War Hippie so far um, has really been so organic. Uh, from the way that we met to, like, I mean, when we put that album together, I mean, we basically did that album in about a month. I mean, give or take some. We worked on a little bit of stuff beforehand,
Right.
but we really just went in the studio and we knocked it all out. And um, we picked up the Travis Tritt, Chris Jansen Can't Miss tour before we even put a song out. We didn't have a Spotify, like we didn't have a 100 followers on our Instagram yet. And so people
They're
are
like,
just
what
going
do
like,
you
what's going on here? Like,
do?
uh, but yeah,
I'm sure you won them over.
it's been fun.
I say, "Killin' It" was a great song. The whole whiskey, I have a whiskey problem, I have a missy problem. I love that lyric. I'm sure everyone loves that. But in the Hangman,
Yeah.
the get the cowboy vibe video. I mean, if there's any reason to make a video,
Right.
it's to have a Western feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding.
That is the best.
That's for sure.
But going out and performing, if you could actually, Donnie, where you were, like coming out and performing, I think I'm sure you won the audience over if you guys could do it unorganized, going out playing in front of an audience. You're gonna win them
Yeah.
over.
Well, and both of us have, been performing for so long. I mean, I've been honestly, playing professionally since I was about 14 years old. So, you know, give you my age, it's about 37 years. you know, so, so 27 years, I'm sorry.
I was gonna
40
say
years.
37, man.
I'm not 50. I'm not 51. I'm a good looking 51-year-old man. No, in the performing aspect has always been, you know, that was when Scott came along and you know, he asked if I would come back out on the road. You know, coming off the road was probably one of the hardest things, you know, that I've ever done as a player. And I love producing and I love sitting in the studio. I've got a beautiful studio in Nashville, Tennessee, and I love working with other people and coaching artists and working on songwriting and composing and producing and making people's dreams come true that way. I absolutely do love it. Well, when Scott came along, gave me the opportunity again to go back out and perform. You know, I fell back in love with my career. I've had the opportunity to you know, stand, you know, center stage with another artist and you know, not be playing second fiddle or anything like that. So it's really a special thing. And him and I have you know, a very organic chemistry on stage. And so, you know, combined with the amount of time that the two of us have spent on stage, it really is a very natural thing. We go from, you know, especially opening, you know, for Travis, we're on the road. We you know, we only get 20 minutes as the first opener. And we go from thousands of people not knowing who we are, and in 20 minutes standing ovations and 2-hour lines outside, you know, to meet us and you know, buy merch and support us. And it's really an amazing thing. And to see it happen is really fun to be a part of, and just hoping it keeps going this way.
That's a pretty good hookup though for an opening act, though. Still being unknown, like you're doing the rodeo circuit, or you're doing some like other end where you got to work your way up for years and years and years. That's a pretty good opening slot to begin with for 20 minutes. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You can't shake a stick at that one either. That's I mean, you guys have obviously earned it with obviously to that point anyhow separately. But I'm just saying it's a good slot to have to begin with, to have that built-in audience on some level.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. And it's a huge blessing. So I mean, we're incredibly thankful for it.
Well, and I'm sure it speaks in volumes how talented that the artists feel, and the people, you know, putting on the show, how strong an act you are, because it still comes down to dollars and cents, what the audience wants, how you're going to entertain them, and they know their crowd, and what are you going to put out. So there's a lot of belief in you. So that also says something, you know, another reinforcement back as who you guys are. It's a lightning in a bottle situation, really, for you guys. You know what you guys have.
It is. It really is. It's one of, you know, one of those things when lightning strikes, you gotta try to get it. You know, hold on to it.
And even vocally,
yeah, that's where
together.
We are.
It's really good. You know,
it's
we sound like brothers.
Funny. It almost sounds like it's like family harmony. And you know, I think that's one of the things I've noticed too, like with the shows that we've done. You know, it's one thing. Obviously, the crowd is what you're going after because of the dollars and cents aspect of it. But it seems like in the music, sometimes it's like you get the crowd, or you get like the music fans, like the people behind the scenes that are like, oh, this band's killer, but the crowd doesn't necessarily get it. And what we're seeing is like we're getting both. We're getting the crowd, and we're also getting the lighting guys and the sound engineers, which is really tough because the sound guys are mixing bands every night and hear everything, and nothing impresses a sound guy. And so, but we're getting the sound guys and the crew guys and the other bands and the promoters are going, we've never seen an opening act get this kind of response. And you put it the best way. I mean, it really is lightning in a bottle. And we're both, one, so grateful for this opportunity, but to recognize what it is and are going full steam ahead. And that's why we've kind of put where we came from before, we're shelving those projects and the things that we were doing, because this is obviously something that is that's working extremely well, and we're loving it. I love War Hippies. War Hippies is, for me, is why I fell in love with music in the first place. The acoustic aspect, the lyric, not overproducing it with a bunch of stuff, and like it's simple, but it's also very intricate. And I'm just having a blast, and all the things that we have on the horizons just pretty amazing with the whole brand in general.
Which is interesting. So, like, you just the album's out, and you've done some touring. Like, what does the future hold? You have like 2 videos out, gotten quite successful, pretty fast, a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking at now? Maybe another video or tour? I mean, I know the world's gone kind of weird with COVID, and releases are kind of weird. You know, what are we
Yeah,
looking at?
we're doing we're looking at, I mean, obviously videos, you know, for the remaining songs, and or, you know, as we kind of release them out. And then we are actually you know, going to be out a substantial amount of time again next year with Travis Tritt. We're basically working on filling up. We're gonna hit the road in January, and try to stay on the road for the entire year 2023. And and we are most likely going to, in first quarter, probably drop another 10-song record.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But this is one of the things I think is, and it's important, is I think as an artist, I know you talk about like putting your projects aside, but in a way, it sounds like you're not putting yourselves aside as artists to be in this group together. You're still who you are. Like, it's not a sacrifice thing. It's more like the two halves make something different. So it's not like you're both like, you know, because some bands, like, I started a side project for this, or we do this other band, but then I have this other thing because I'm not being fulfilled. At this point, it feels like you guys kind of both are putting everything in, and it's just kind of working out really good. You know, it's a full thing, which is kind of great, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this really is, this is fulfilling. You know, this is this feels like the best way I can say it is, this is this to me, this feels like what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This feels the most like what I'm supposed to be doing as anything else that I have done in my career. This feels the most like what I'm supposed to be doing.
I mean, it's a hell of a debut album. You know, it really is. Like,
Thank you.
it just feels like it's been like, I don't know, it was some huge artists like working for a while to get to that point with a whole team, but you guys kind of do it yourselves and the whole thing. And obviously you have your production background, you guys have the songwriting and the touring experience. So it's like already there. It's like as the first album, it's like the bar's already there, guys. You really better bring it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those were ones we just had laying around.
Okay. I think you guys would be one of those bands that could also do a lot of live albums in between, with EPs or like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we just this tour. Here's our live album, digital download or vinyl special. While you're waiting to hold you over till the next one, because you guys are a live band. You guys can strip down to a piano and an acoustic guitar and 2 voices, which is the core of a good song, is the voice and whatever analog sounding instruments you can do and keep it real. Otherwise, a lot of songs, I mean, you could maybe argue a few songs that really could need to be electric, you know. But for the most part, even Zeppelin can go strip down and be anything. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you say that, because as a producer, you know, there's so many, you know, with the application, there's nothing wrong with this. Had some great success when my studio was in my bedroom, but with the application of that all being readily available, people will send stuff over. And as a producer, as someone who's listening to the song, I'm always like, I don't want to hear anything but the guitar and the vocal, or the piano and the vocal. I don't want to hear anything else. That's not what makes the song. I can put a different production behind any song in any different genre. You can turn any song into any different genre you'd like to, and produce it however you'd like. Those are production elements, but the song is king. And I think that's what Scott and I really focus on. That we focus on the songs. And if you come in and see the Pro Tools sessions and the record, I mean, there's a lot more going on than what it feels like on the record, but none of it ever takes away from what's going on. So they're complicated arrangements, complicated parts, complicated productions, but they're, at the same time, they come across as simple, and the song is what comes across the most. And the number one thing we get from people is that when they listen to the record, they're like, I believe you. I believe that you did that. Mm-hmm. I believe you lived that.
Yeah.
And we did. Those songs are our lives.
Well, I think it's very much a blueprint. I mean, I went to school for recording, so I'm very critical of overproducing, you know, because it just kills a song. And you guys actually, and I want to talk about this for a minute, because I want to give props out to the military. That's pretty awesome. You guys are both into it. And you guys, what are you guys doing? Because it's a really a good call out to the soldiers then and now. Like, the way you're incorporating it, you want to touch that for a minute?
Yeah. Of course. I mean, it's a big part of both of our lives. I mean, Scott is a Marine Corps combat veteran. I'm an Army combat veteran. It's very important. I mean, Scott, you know, we work extensively with multiple different charity organizations. Um, we do a lot in the veteran community for the veteran community. But the biggest thing is, and Scott always says this, and I'll let him take it from here. He has a philosophy on you know what we're doing and why we're doing it, and why it's an inspiration for veterans. And I'll let him take it.
Yeah, you know, one of the things, first of all, that we always want to try to point out is like that our military background is, you know, it's a part of our story, but it's not our entire story. Um, you know, that was a part of our lives, and we've had a lot of life to live since then.
Mhm.
And so that we don't like to try to like pigeonhole ourselves into, because a lot of times people are like, oh, you guys just do the veteran stuff. Well, no, we're actually artists, and you know, and we're doing what we're doing. But we also want to use it as a platform and a pedestal to bring awareness to veterans' causes, and you know, one of them obviously being the veteran suicide rate.
Yes.
And in our mission and in our the voice that we want to be heard is that we want to show tell other veterans by showing them that it's our duty to wake up every day and be grateful that we get to breathe, and that we get to feel the sunshine on our skin and a roof over our head, and we get to eat, and that it's our duty to go out there and pursue happiness to the best of our abilities, because we have our brothers and sisters that don't get to. And I don't believe that our brothers and sisters who died in combat died for us to come home and get lost in a bottle and to take our own lives. They died for uh, the pursuit of happiness and for everyday liberties and freedoms that we as Americans get to take advantage of and go out there and do something you love and follow a dream and be passionate about it. Um, so we want to show through our success of like, hey, I mean, we fought in the same battles and spilled blood in the same mud, and but this is the alternate than, you know, letting the VA pump you full of pills and just going down that rabbit hole, um, of going out and living your life to the greatest extent. Like, and that's just kind of what we want to put out there, and maybe make help other veterans think differently on what their life is, mission and goal outcome is, than to dwell in the past.
I from the outside before speaking with you, I like the fact of seeing that you guys had a lot of different things, and it kind of shows that you can just a lot more you can do. You're not just pigeonhole as like someone thinks if you get out of the military, all you can do is do more lifetime military or become a cop or a security. Like it feels like that's all they can do, and it shows that there's a lot more in somebody that's in the military. Anything's a, you know what I mean. There's no boundaries. It could be music, it could be art. So it's not like, oh, you're in the military, you're this one dimensional person. You know, it shows heart. It shows
Yeah,
a lot of different dimensions. You know, as a person, I think it just may open some eyes to people that, oh, you mean somebody can do this also? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they can do a lot of things.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it shows that a soldier can do way more than people think. You know, that's how I
yeah. I
see
mean,
it.
and it's yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's one of those things where, um, you know, once again, that was a part of our lives, and it doesn't tell our full story. I mean, a lot of people, you know, Donnie's a perfect example of, you know, he was a cheerleader in college. You know, he's a violinist. He played what riff in the West Side Story. You
Yeah.
know, like, I mean, there's more than meets the eye, when it comes to, you know, that's just a job. And you know, as individuals, there's so many veterans that have gotten out that, you know, especially in the entrepreneurial world, that have gone to be extremely successful. Um, you know, not just in the arts, you know, running companies and inventing things, and um, there's so many different things, and we just want to open veterans' eyes and be like, go do it, man.
Yeah.
We are some of the most elite people in the world. Like, go take the hill, whatever hill that is that you want. Go take it.
So you being Marine and you being Army, please tell me you guys give each other a hard time. Please tell me you guys got the jokes.
Yeah, there's always
you guys have good jokes. Okay, just
there's always lots of jokes. I always make sure that I keep a large stash of crayons on the bus so that he can.
There we go. When I just hear two different services, I'm like, oh man,
he's always
great jokes.
He's always calling me Army Dog, and he'll be like, he's an Army Dog, but he's all right. I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome.
No,
That's really good.
We always joke, and it's really fun because we have so many different friends in all the different branches, all the different jobs, and so there's always and some people sometimes you'll come to a show and we might be in a place where where we have a lot of veteran friends, and they'll come, and then other people will come on the bus and like, man, you guys are crazy, and it's all just fun and games.
You're just a family. It doesn't matter what the service is. It's funny.
Yeah.
But teasing 100%. Each other is the best part. It's one of the best parts of being it, though.
Oh yeah, it's the best part. I mean, it really is. That's what makes it. You got to laugh.
And not only do you get to make fun of other musicians, you make fun of other people in other services. You got twice the amount of people give a hard time. That's important, though.
Yeah.
Right. To that point, though, so you said you actually have a couple more songs coming out, though, for the rest of this release, or any more singles?
Yeah, we'll do. We'll continue to do singles. We're working on the focus track. We're in the process of. We'll probably do a couple. At least 2 or 3 more videos. As far as we'll working on scripting them and getting them done. And then, honestly, we actually left. We were going to put on the original album. We were going to put 15 songs on it. Mm-hmm. The first time, so we ended up omitting like 4 or 5, I think, and so we're in the process of starting those. We just we just wrote another one the other day, and then we have to go. We really have to shift through everything we've got, and then between us and our team, we'll set together. We'll set a deadline, and we'll go ahead and knock another one out, just so that we can keep. We have so many songs that are sitting around that we haven't recorded, or so many that we haven't written that we can write and having access to all that. We're gonna just keep pumping them out, and I'm hoping to, I would say in the next 18 months to 2 years, to where instead of 10 songs we have 30 or 40 to stream, and for people to take care and to consume and fall in love with, hopefully.
I'm looking forward to it, because this is what you guys did with knowing each other for like about a year. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again next time, when you guys have had more time as songwriters on the road, a lot of time on the road together, and then knowing each other so well, and then writing more songs together. That's gonna be really interesting to see, like, what comes out of that. The next layer of ingredients.
Well, and really the fun thing too about WAR HIPPIES is that we do everything ourselves. Like, I mean, between whether we write them ourselves, co-writing with other people, but with Donnie having the studio, we have access to, like, all right, let's go make some music, and we go in and make music. With the videos, we do all the video stuff ourselves. Like the guy that does percussion during our live shows, also when he's not playing drums, he's running around with a camera, and that's where we get all of our live footage from. He kind of does a double thing, and so and then we'll sit down and come up with a storyboard for a video, and we get our friends involved, and we go out and shoot the video ourselves, and we edit it ourselves, and like we just do everything all in house, and it's pretty awesome because we get to do whatever we want. And there's nothing better in an artist world than to not have somebody over your shoulder saying, no, we don't want you to do it. Like, no, we're gonna get an idea and we're just gonna go do it, and we're gonna put it out.
Here's fantastic. The song, put it on the internet. Here's the song, put it on the internet.
It's a different world now, so it's good. You guys get control over it now. Don't let go of it.
Yeah.
And we do have, and I want everybody to know, we do have an amazing team of people around us. We have
Absolutely.
and they they make it. So our team is even though we are independent, we have all of the same things that you would have on a major label. We just it's all in house. It's all taken care of via our companies. But these are all people who work very extensively in the industry. They're very good, and they handle all of the things that make it so that Scott and I can go into the studio and finish a record in a month. And we will know that it's going to all the artwork, all these things, all the timelines, all the spreadsheets, all the budgets, everything's going to get taken care of and managed, and Scott and I can be creative. And I think that's one of the really cool things about this is that Scott and I can focus on the art.
That's actually awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys. This has been awesome. I'm glad I could speak with you guys and talk about this great album you have. I want people to go out and check you guys out. I'll put all the links and everything underneath the podcast and the YouTube channel so people can go click on it after the show and check you guys out and support you. Look for you on the road, and hopefully I'll see you soon on the road. And if not, I'll be looking forward to you. Thank you guys. It's been great.
Yeah, and stay in touch. Stay in touch.